So my name is Philip O'Brien. I'm the technical lead at the CareLink project. I'm responsible for driving development at all levels of the software stack, from designing the architecture, working on the various microservices that make it up, managing the continuous integration deployment pipelines, and researching the applications of artificial intelligence and machine learning in the project. In CareLink, we've utilised microservices architecture, which is a way of developing a large application as a suite of smaller services, each of which running in its own process and then communicating using different lightweight mechanisms. This offers the project a number of advantages, mainly that each service can be developed independently, deployed independently, can be owned by different teams, which works very well when you have a distributed team like we do in CareLink. It's very easy to pick the right tool for the job, so whether that's Node.js for your server, React for your UI, or Python for any of the machine learning and AI code. So once CareLink kicked off and we spoke to different organisations that worked with people with dementia, it became clear to us that the hallmarks of wandering are actually much more subtle than we previously would have thought. Before we would have developed any expertise, you would have thought wandering was just someone getting lost and going somewhere where they shouldn't. But research in the area has shown wandering can really be classified into a few different areas, that someone will indeed walk randomly, or they'll pace back and forth between known locations, or they might even lap around a known location. So to the outsider, they could be exhibiting normal behaviour. They could be walking from one point to another with purpose, but they're in fact engaging in a wandering event. So what this meant for us really was the subtleties of it meant for us to try and monitor this and manage it from a technical point of view. It raised a lot of complexities. The primary use of AI in CareLink is as a tool to predict someone's likely destination when they leave the house and go about their day. Our reasoning for this was that traditional methods of location monitoring tools are very stigmatizing, and that the best they can often do is they put a geofence around a person and say, if they leave this area, send an alert. If they go outside this boundary, outside this fence, I'm not happy about it and I should know where they are and I'll try and intervene. Whereas what this does is it really limits the person's ability to move freely. So we thought if we can train an AI model on the historical safe routes someone is known to have taken, then at any time they leave their house, we could accurately classify their likely destination. And if that destination is somewhere that we know they have visited before, or it's somewhere of relevance to them, and all the other contextual information the model takes into account decides that where they're going is somewhere safe, then the platform can take a back seat and the person can just go about their life normally. If, however, we fail to classify a likely destination, it could mean a number of things. Most likely that someone is engaged in a wandering event where they're going to a destination that isn't known to them, that isn't part of their historical background, and so this is something that their care would most likely want to be alerted about. And remotely then we can increase the frequency that the device tracks their location. We can send an SMS alert to their care so they know the precise location of that person at that moment, and hopefully try and intervene before anything bad happens. One of the biggest technical challenges with this was acquiring the right data set to try and train these AI models. There's no publicly available open data set, and you really need data if you want to do something useful with machine learning or AI. To this end, in the TSSG, one of our colleagues, Yaya, has been doing excellent work on building his own dataset creation simulator. Basically, it creates very realistic routes that users could take, and with a bit more work, we're hoping that this is something that we'll be able to share back into the broader research community.